my life, our lives, that's life. That's Life with Sheran Keyton, chatting about love, life, and everything in between. Your life, my life, our lives, that's life. Your life, my life, our lives, that's life. Your life, my life, our lives, that's life. Hello, and welcome to That's Life with Sheran Keyton. I am so happy that you all decided to join us today, and I hope you continue to support the show. Today, I have a topic that's very near and dear to my heart, which is going to sound kind of crazy when I tell you what it is. Now, for women, throughout all of history, if a woman gets to be of a certain age, and she's not married, she's considered an old maid, or there's something wrong with her, or she's damaged goods. Ugh. But for a man, if he gets to be of a certain age and he has never been married, he's just being selective. So I want to know from all of you out there, but most importantly from my guest today, what goes along with that selection process? There are tons of movies and tons of songs and tons of cliches that says what a man wants. Well, I'm here to ask one of my favorite guys, what does a man want? If you are a woman out there hoping to hitch that perfect guy, what is he looking for? What are the do's? What are the don'ts? What are the roles of men and women in society? It's going to get deep, y'all. I want you to put your hands together in virtual land out there and welcome my dear friend, Mr. Tyrone King. Hey.
Oh, look at that.
Hey.
How are you? Good seeing you.
Yes, good to see you. Have a seat. Have a seat.
Right.
Yeah, so.
It's a little warm. Kind of feels like a hot seat already.
Well, yeah, no.
Right.
I got you a gift. So I hope you enjoy it. I know how much you love your morning coffee.
Yeah.
So now you get to drink coffee every morning and look at me, and it don't get no better than that.
Let's see.
Tastes better, don't it?
Tastes better, yes.
Tastes better. All right, so I want to dive right in. The name of this segment is What a Man Wants. And while I know that you can't possibly speak for every man, the average woman would look at you and go, 60 years old, professional, entrepreneur, owns his own company, man of his own wealth, very handsome, very charming, very smart, all of the things that should make a man be very married. But you're not. So talk to me about that. Tell me a little bit about who you are and tell me about it.
I think you covered everything. 60-year-old single man, business owner, homeowner, girl dad, grandson, teenage grandson. Just trying to make it.
Yeah.
So that's who I am. I mean, you basically covered everything. Now I'm not going to say I'm the handsome guy that she said I am because I'm not like that. But anyway, I'm who she said I was.
So what is it that makes you, because you've been dating your whole life, is that?
Not my whole life.
Okay.
Since I was about 14.
Okay, so basically your whole life.
14,
more than half.
Yeah, more than half.
Yeah.
More than 3/4.
So what happened? Why have you chosen just to do you?
As a multi-part answer to that, I guess the first reason why I haven't been married, now this may sound crazy, but it works. It's for me. And the reason I haven't been married is because I haven't found a woman that can cook good carrot cake, to be honest. I mean, because, no, I mean, really, you know that I love dessert.
I do.
And of all the desserts, cake is my favorite. And of all the cakes, carrot cake is my favorite.
True.
So I've always said, if I ever find a woman that makes good carrot cake, I'm going straight to the altar. Matter of fact, I have my pastor on speed dial. So I already let him know, if you ever get a call from me, first you're going to get a text, 911. And then you're going to get a call. And then once you get that, you get the first lady together. I'm going to send you the address. Come to the kitchen because the carrot cake is on. So that's it.
I love that. So you know you're going to have all the women out there brushing up on their carrot cake recipes. You're just going to be like offerings like in the royal palace where they just kind of keep coming and just bringing things and offering things to the king. Double entendre. Okay, all right, for the carrot cake.
Yeah.
So what else is there though? What are the things that are an absolute no for you?
Absolute no is dishonesty.
Mm.
I mean, honesty is I won't say it's the number one thing, but it's number 1A, maybe 1B. I say that because too many times, there have been situations where things start out being dishonest. Mm. Like for one, I mean, how much time do I have?
Take your time.
Take time to answer this question.
Time.
Okay.
It's my show. We can do it however we want to.
Okay. Well, there was this one situation, and in case you think this is you, I mean, it's happened a couple of times, multiple times. So if you think this is you, then it may not be.
Or it may be.
Or it may be. But I had met this young lady one time, and we were talking, and you know, in the beginning process, getting to know the person, getting to know her, she's like, well, you know, I have a child. And I was like, okay, well, you know, that's okay. I mean, that's normal. So we talked a couple of days later. There was a little noise in the background. And I was like, oh, what's going on? You got company? She's like, oh, boy, you know I told you I got 2 kids. What? Okay, maybe I misunderstood that. Maybe I got it wrong. But anyway, it kept going on like that until finally, you know, there was like a party was going on over there. And I was like, again, you know, your kids got company? What's going on? Mm-hmm. And the reply was, boy, I don't know why you keep playing with me. You know I told you I got 5 kids. Okay. Oh, my God. No, you didn't tell me that. So that's what I mean, you know, honesty. Or, you know, you meet somebody and they say that they're completely single. And then you find out that, you know, there's a baby daddy or a boyfriend that they still canoodling with, you know. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I just be honest. And if I decide, okay, well, I want to see if I can move Mr. Canoodler out of the way. Right. And, you know, let me make that decision. Don't lie. Just be honest.
Or babysit your 5 kids.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So honesty is number 1.
Okay. A lot of men are really, a lot of them say that they're not, but really the aesthetic is important to them. Right. They have a very, very specific type of woman that they want, and that's what they want. You know, and no shade for those who want what they want. Right. I respect people for knowing what they want and then leaving everybody else alone and not, you know, whatever. But if we had to just talk about the aesthetic, like what does the perfect woman for you look like?
Well, I mean, again, I keep referring because you know me. We go way back, and there's really no really aesthetic type for me. Okay. You know, I guess the number one thing is I love short hair. You know, I like a woman with short hair, but I don't think I've ever dated a woman with short hair. You know, I think they've all had long hair or medium to long hair, but I'm the type guy I like who likes me. You know, so there's no real type. She doesn't have to be, you know, for a lot of tradition, light skin, long hair, you know, certain weight, certain height. You know, none of that really matters to me. If she has a good heart, she's honest, and we can talk. You know, because that's one of my things. I love conversation. I just love the idea of being able to talk about anything at any time. So that's more important to me. than a certain look or a certain height or a certain weight or a certain whatever.
Okay.
So,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
You just made a lot of women happy because they're like, okay, so it doesn't matter what I look like. I just got to make this carrot cake. I just got to make this carrot cake.
Right.
I'm in. I just got to learn to make this carrot cake.
Well, let me put an addendum on that.
Okay. Okay.
You can look a certain way, but you have to keep up that look. I mean, you can't be
Ooh.
a certain way and then walk around, just get out of bed and say, oh, well, here I am. I mean, not all the time.
Come on now, go and tell the truth about it.
I mean, I'm just being
Yeah.
honest. I mean, because I'm going to try and look my best for her, and I just want that in return,
Yeah.
So whatever it is, if you're 4'8" and 400 pounds,
Oh, wow.
then hey, let's make that 4'8", 400 pound look good, and let's enjoy that. I mean, because that's what I want.
So, ladies, if you're 4'8" and 400 pounds, you can make a good carrot cake. You might still have a chance. I'm just saying. I'm just going to keep putting it out there because maybe there's enough comments, there's enough. He might not make it to 61 being unmarried. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So let's go ahead and segue.
Okay.
Let's just say all of these women out there decide that they might be the one. They want to shoot their shot. What is that like for a man like you? If a woman is confident enough, for lack of a better word, aggressive enough to shoot her shot. She's just going to come straight to you and say, hey, I think I might be the one. Can we go out? Talk to me about how you feel having a woman being the aggressor or, again, just having that confidence to shoot her shot.
Well, I actually like that, to be honest. I like aggressiveness to a certain point, because to me, it takes a lot for a woman to put herself on the line like that,
Mm-hmm.
And if a woman is willing to put herself on the line like that and say, hey, look, I think, we may be able to work something out. Can we go out and have dinner?
Mm-hmm.
Then I would usually accept, because like I said, it takes a lot for a woman to put herself out like that. And it's kind of flattering, to be honest. I mean, really not flattering in the sense that, I mean, flattering to the extent that someone is willing to be vulnerable like that,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of times women that are a lot of times women don't like to expose their vulnerability.
Right.
And I understand why.
Mm-hmm.
Because, they become vulnerable, and next thing you know, then somebody's coming in taking advantage of that vulnerability. So
Absolutely.
So to, like I said, to be vulnerable like that and say, okay, can we go out? Then I usually used to say yes.
You said usually.
Usually, I mean, yeah.
Because point out that you said usually.
Yeah.
So talk to me about how that, for you, takes a woman outside of the role of being a woman. When she is confident enough to be the aggressor, when she's confident enough to say, hey, I like you, I'd like to take you out.
Right.
Talk to me about that and just kind of in general, the role specifically of women in society in your mind.
Now that's a loaded question.
Okay.
Like I said, I appreciate that. I appreciate the vulnerability. I appreciate the strength. But at the same time, as you know, I'm a man of great faith. And that basically drives everything in my life. And sometimes, for some women, they have issues with
spit it out. Don't mince words. Come on now, spit it out.
I know. I'm just going to say my attorney told me to be very careful with what I say, but I'm going to cross the line. And
Okay.
I'm just saying for a lot of women, they have, or at least I can't say for a lot of women. Let me back up because I haven't met all the women. I don't know every woman, but for the women that I have come in contact with, the women that I have known, tend to be a little bit more guarded when it comes to the issue of submissiveness. And I just believe that, like I said, now I'm just saying this based on my faith and my belief, and
Noted.
and I just think that if a man is doing what he's supposed to, being led by God, and living his purpose, walking in the faith, then there are certain things that I believe a woman is supposed to do to complement that,
Okay.
you know, and not try and control the situation, you know, because I know that that's a touchy subject.
It is.
I know that
It is.
I know that for a lot of women, being submissive is very, very difficult.
I think, and I'm gonna jump in here. I think it's because we're raised that being submissive means have sex with your husband whenever he asks for it, no matter what. Like that is the wholeness of that's our takeaway.
Right.
And when there are so many other layers, like he may or may not be doing what he's supposed to be doing, like you said, or he may or may not clearly be being led by God. You're just like, God did not tell you to do it. Say that, sir. You know? So I think that we as women are raised to some generalization, are raised that being submissive means just have sex whenever. Right? Or the man controls all the money. Like really just old school values back when the roles were very clearly defined in a different way. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm personally a very strong and very independent woman. But I think that I also have what I feel are very submissive values. But for me, I'm like, where's that middle of the road? Because if my husband, I'm not married either. Just wanted to say that, y'all. If my husband, in theory, works 40 hours a week, and I work 40 hours a week, we both come home after our 8 to 10 hour day. I immediately go into the kitchen, cook dinner, do the laundry, take care of the children. He immediately puts his feet up, does whatever that is. And we won't even talk about the financial stuff because I don't care. If I'm married to someone and I love them and we're there and he makes a fourth of what I make. I don't care. I'm not that type of woman. But what I do care about is if we both worked and then you came in and you sat down and then I came in and I had to work another 4 or 5 hours. And then when we get to the end of the night, I'm tired. And you have the nerve to be doing this. You better quit tapping me on my shoulder. You know what I just been through.
Doing what?
I'm like, child, I'm tired. But no, in theory, that's where my mind sits, and I know that's how a lot of women feel. It's like, if we have to open our own doors and pay our own bills and work as hard as you work, but harder, because we're getting paid less for the exact same education and position, we're getting treated with less respect. But then we got to come home and be submissive. We like, Now for me, as for me in my house, I just want to take this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to say I go ahead and do it anyway. My husband used to be like, yes. And I'm enthusiastic about it. I'm like, because I was raised that this is what you do. And the aunties would tell you, girl, if you don't take care of your man, somebody else will, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like, I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
We have this young boy. He's driving me crazy. I have to iron these clothes and put this crease in exactly the right place, inches away from the, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then you still want some? But, so where is that? What can a woman say to a man of faith?
Right.
Who obviously believes in the old schoolness of the Bible?
To a certain extent.
Okay.
Yeah.
What can a woman say to a man of faith to get him to hear? I'm not being controlling.
Right.
I'm not trying to control the situation.
Right.
I'm just trying to get you to hear me.
Right.
Because all of that I just did over here, plus everything that I just did for you, I earned a voice.
Right, right.
And if I can't get no voice out there to them people, in here I ought to be able to have a voice.
Yeah. And I agree with that 100%. I mean, because it takes two, and I keep going back to, we have a history of over 20 years, so you know me, you know that I don't mind cooking, I actually, be honest, I've been a better cook than every woman I've ever had.
He's a great cook,
every
ladies
woman
and
I've been with,
gentlemen.
I've always been a better cook. So, I don't mind coming in doing my part, because in my opinion, your part is whatever it takes to make the house work.
For sure.
So when I say submissiveness, then I mean submissive to the point where I don't want to have to argue with you about certain things. I want to hear your voice, because what you say is important. Because I think that's the mistake a lot of men make. Because to me, there's nothing more important than what makes this woman. I'll just say what makes a woman tick and why. What is it that makes her who she is, and then why is it that makes her that way? Because women are different. No matter how we try and paint with a broad brush stroke, they're all different. You have to approach a woman that, for instance, grew up in a house without a father.
Yes.
You have to treat her differently. You have to approach her differently than you would a woman that grew up in the house with a father.
Yes.
Because, in my opinion, their first love is their father.
Yeah.
And if they grow up without that first love in the house with them on a regular basis, then there are some issues that they have to deal with. And I'm not saying issues in a bad way or anything like that. It's just different.
Right. It definitely affects the fibers of your being, of your existence.
Right.
I didn't grow up in a house with my father.
Right.
My experience with family life was my mother raising my sister and I, and a whole village of very strong single women who had to make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
So as I got older, every single man that I tried to give a chance to be the man, I'm like, you're not doing better for me than I'm doing for myself.
Yeah.
So if I'm still having to struggle, I'm still having to work as hard, I'm still having to be, like, I just want to be able to just fall all out and be weak and vulnerable and not have to be the man. So it's like, I'm not aiming to be the man. You keep putting me in the role. You know what I'm saying? Consistently over, let's see, husband, 16 years old, 47, over the last 31 years. Consistently. So, but I think that's a missing factor, is when a man doesn't consider what his woman is bringing to the table, the good, the bad, and the indifferent. And for me, it's bringing years of being raised in a strong female presence, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Right? We raise our girls to be strong and independent. And then when they're strong and independent, men say, we don't want her because she's too strong and too independent. Talk about it. Talk about it. Come on. Before you talk about it, talk about how We raise our girls to be strong and independent.
Yeah.
Then a man says, I don't want her to be that strong and that independent.
Right.
But more importantly, when he's going through all the troubles in life,
Yeah.
stuff out there in the world, job loss,
Right.
career issues,
Yeah.
problems,
Right.
guess what he needs?
He
That
needs
woman to be strong and
woman.
independent.
Exactly. He needs that strong, independent woman.
It's like a yo-yo effect. Talk about
Exactly. And I think I would say if you're a strong, independent woman, then you continue to be a strong, independent woman. And if you don't find a brother that's willing to step up his game to help you be a stronger, more independent woman within the relationship, then it's okay to move on.
Yeah.
And I just want to go back and clarify something that I was saying earlier.
Because his attorney.
Because my attorney.
Because his attorney told him.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
When I was talking about submissiveness, then I mean submissiveness in the relationship to where we're on the same page and we're not having to argue about the same thing over and over and over again because, I never played a race card, but as a black man in America, and a business owner, I have to deal with a lot, and I'm on my grind every day, on my hustle out there. And when I get home, then I don't want to have to fight when I get home. That's my place of sanctuary. That's where I should be able to find peace if I can't find peace anywhere else. And just one example of submissiveness, because I'm not going to ask a woman to do anything that I'm not willing to do myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that dude to say, well, yeah, I'm the man and this is my house and you're supposed to do what I say. And, if I tell you to jump up and down 3 times, then if you do 2.5 times, then we got a problem. That's not it. That's not what I'm saying. I'll use the example.
Come on now.
I know you told me not to say certain things, but I'm saying it anyway. That's my attorney off stage, y'all. You mentioned money earlier and your willingness to share, and that really doesn't matter. I think, just my personal opinion, what works or what I feel is going to work in my household. We bring what we have to the table. Whatever it is that you make, you bring it to the table. Whatever it is I make, I bring it to the table. And then we take care of our bills first. We have a certain amount of things that we have to take care of. Let's take care of all our bills. Let's set some aside for a rainy day. Let's do a savings. And then whatever we have left, we split it 50-50. And you do whatever you want to with yours. Mm-hmm. I don't care. It's just throwing numbers out, small numbers, but just so we have something to work with. If we bring in $2,000 a month and we have $1,500 worth of bills, all right, and savings and whatever, then we got $500 left, $250 a piece. Then, like I said, you take your $250, you do whatever you want to with it. If you want to take your $250 and you want to go down the street and you want to give it to the neighbor and say, hey, look, I know you're going through a rough time, even though you don't work, and I go to work every day, and you're having a rough time, then here's $150, on your bills to help you out because I'm that kind of woman. I'm a helpful woman, and I want to do that. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. But now, next week, when you need gas in your car, and you say, well, we need to go into the family fund. Well, now, because the gas is part of the family fund. So let me
I don't think so, though.
Yeah, no.
Is it if you both have your own cars?
It should be.
And you go wherever you want to go in your cars?
Within reason. You should be able to go back
Ladies,
and
we
forth.
taking notes.
Yeah, you should be able to. You should have enough to be able to go back and forth to work and all. But now, I see it within reason. So you should, if it takes you a tank and a half of gas each week to go to work, then that's what we're budgeting, a tank and a half to go to work. But now, if you want to go and take the neighbor again, if you want to go and take the neighbor to work who ain't paying you nothing, then when you run out of gas and you say, well, hey, we need to dip into the family fund. No, you need to dip into the neighbor's family fund, because,
With the neighbor guy.
And that's what I mean about being submissiveness and my position on that. we take care of business first, and then whatever you have, you do what you want to. Whatever I have, I do what I want to. And I'm not going to complain about whatever. I mean, if you want to go out and buy, you want to go out and blow it all on an outfit and some fly shoes, then okay.
Speaking of fly shoes.
Hey, look at that. Yeah.
Go ahead and get those fly shoes.
Right. But that's your budget. So that's my opinion on that.
We have come to our time, which is so sad because I feel like we need a part two.
We're over?
Yeah, we're over. Yeah, I feel like we need a part two because there are going to be women all in the comment section saying, but what about, what about? All of them, all of the nationalities, the races, the cultures, everybody's necks are going to be rolling. But what about, right? But here's the thing that I think is my takeaway. First of all, ladies and gentlemen out there in virtual land, put all your hands together and applaud largely, hugely, ginormously for Mr. Tyrone King. I thank you so much for stopping by today. I think that for women, for men, everybody just wants love. And that comes in so many different packages in so many different ways. I think we hit the nail on the head when we said that everything is gauged upon your upbringing. Where did you come from? How were you raised? What examples did you have? It's really hard to be great in a relationship if you didn't have great examples of people in a relationship. It's really hard to be an amazing husband if you didn't have an example of an amazing husband or wife. And I think that is, if we as individuals kind of walk into every single relationship just openly communicating that, openly sharing our flaws and our vulnerabilities and openly accepting that we all have them and that we're not going to take advantage of someone because they loved us enough to let us in. I think that we'll be better off because of it. And when I get ready to answer the question, what a man wants, as it relates to my special guest today, my takeaway is that a man just wants a woman to be her genuine self, to be there as his support and his love, to walk beside him in good time. No, I'm just kidding. But honesty, loyalty, communication. And heck, that's not just what a man wants, that's what everybody wants. Guys, thank you so very much for coming out today. That's Life with Sheran Keyton. Thank you for tuning in to That's Life with Sheran Keyton. If you thought that was something, you ain't seen nothing yet. #watch, #like, #share, #subscribe. See you next time.